Now I can laugh about it, but it's extremely hard. Vasily has a 30-year sentence for murdering 2 guys at once.
What are your current thoughts on SBF? After going to prison, do you have more sympathy for him in a way?
This is why I think President Trump understands crypto. The minute you walk in, there are guys with like tattoos, all big buffy guys, like face tattoos, head tattoos. I was scared, yeah.
What up, what up? It's Farouk of Rug Radio. We're back here for another episode of Farouk Radio, which is kind of like an impromptu podcast that I've been hosting ever since I interviewed Donald Trump. I figured, hey, why not just do more of these one-on-ones with powerful individuals within in the world, but also within the crypto space with that angle. So we're back here in Abu Dhabi. Woke up early this morning, drove all the way down here from Dubai as we're here for Token 2049 conference in the Emirates with the man, the myth, the legend, CZ himself. CZ, good morning. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Thank you for having us. I mean, we're in your home turf here.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, you're playing at home this morning. I'm playing outside here. But thank you so much for being able to do this. I know you're a busy man. You're like the hottest guy at Token 2049.
No, I wouldn't say that. So I think there's a lot of really great guys at really like impactful guys at Token 2049. Yeah, but thanks for coming to Abu Dhabi. Welcome to UAE, and yeah, thanks for taking the time to interview me.
No, I appreciate it. What do you like it out here? I know you guys are pretty close to the Sovereign Wealth Fund, the royal family out here. Like, do you like living out here in the desert?
Obviously, I live here, so I love it. I can choose anywhere in the world pretty much, but this is the place. I think the whole country is great. Dubai is great. Dubai is now a little bit packed. Too much traffic, too many people.
Crazy traffic.
It's just growing so quickly. So many people there. Whereas Abu Dhabi is a bit quieter. It's more subtle. It's more deliberate. But it's also very powerful. It's one of the. I think it's one of the most well-led countries in the world. So it's just good leadership. So I like it here a lot. That's why I'm based here.
I love that. Yeah, we'll get in that. We're getting the leadership question a little later. I just can't do the heat. I'm Persian, but I guess I wasn't. I wasn't made for the heat, which is ironic.
It's the hair. Short hair works.
I got a rug on my head, man. Like I start sweating the second I'm outside. I should tie it up here.
I'm just kidding.
No, you're right though. It is the hair. But let's get. We have a lot of questions. We're going to talk about your views on crypto, Trump's presidency, some of the stuff with the Abu Dhabi government. I caught a lot of the crypto legislation stuff before the podcast because that boring stuff we can't get it. I don't want to get into with you today. We're going to talk maybe a little bit about your time in prison, about the whole centralized exchange versus decentralized exchange conversation on the timeline. Maybe a little bit of meme coin talk. We'll see if we make the time for it. Sure. About Binance, of course,
sure.
And a little prediction game, because we have a prediction market over at Myriad Markets that we own with Decrypt and Rug Radio. And figured, why not make a little prediction game with you today, though? And you've made good predictions this year so far, so we'll see the next ones. Anyways, CZ,
yeah,
you're a fellow Montrealer.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep, stayed there for almost 4 years.
So you studied at the University of McGill?
Yeah. Didn't graduate. I studied for 4 years and didn't graduate.
Same story. I got into law school at Université de Montréal.
Yeah.
And after 3.5 years, I was like, what am I doing here?
Yeah. No, I got a job that pays better than probably after our graduation. So I said, well, I'm going to extend it a bit. And then that just extended forever. So.
That must have been tough in your culture because in mine, my Persian mom is still really pissed about it.
Yeah, well, in the Chinese culture as well. Yeah, so it's not easy.
Same here. So fellow Montreal, and Montreal Canadiens fan?
Yes.
But you don't watch sports?
I don't really watch sports nowadays. Yeah.
Is it true you don't listen to music?
No, I don't listen to music.
So what do you like to do? What does CZ do when he wants to chill out?
I listen to books. So I listen to Audible, and then when I listen to Audible, if you only listen to a book, you get bored very quickly. So I play a little very simple game, like really stupid games like Candy Crush. But it keeps me listening to the book. That's the main thing. And then so I chill with friends. Have dinner, chat once in a while, and then I do a little workout every day. Not as much as I should. So I have a pretty simple life, but for me, it's a very good life. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. What's your definition of a good life, actually?
I think the definition of good life is you are happy with yourself, right? So you approve yourself, you know that you're doing the right thing, and you feel a sense of purpose. You're able to take care of yourself and hopefully help some others. Yeah.
I know obviously you're a man that's in the limelight a lot. We're in crypto, so security is important. We don't really hear about your family life a lot. Is that something you make a lot of time for? Like, how do you balance the two, right?
So because we work from home. So I'm always home. So I'm always around. So the quality time is not that high, but but I spend a few minutes. Actually, it's much better after I came out of prison. Now, because in prison everything else is taken away from you, you figure out that you miss your family the most. right? So after that, I actually deliberately spend quality time. I don't look at my phone. So I spend a little bit of time every day, not a whole lot, but it's high quality. But then the other times I'm generally around because I do my days, like I do most calls at home, usually from my bed.
Yeah.
I lay down, I have a
Nice.
computer stand, like I can lay down in bed.
So you guys are talking to CZ with no pants on. I do the same thing. Don't worry.
Yeah. So it's just because I have my back. If I sit for too long, it's generally not too good. So I have a bed stand and I work from bed.
Smart.
Yeah.
That's genius. I actually work from home as well, but I
Yeah.
built an office studio in my home because I do the podcast every morning, the morning show, FOMO hour,
Yeah.
and so I do sometimes take calls from bed, and it does feel nice.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. So
You can still be productive.
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely, absolutely.
there
yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
No excuses. I mean, CZ ran the largest exchange on the planet from bed. You can do it too. But make sure you go to the gym every day because you did talk about
Yeah,
that
yeah,
in his health.
yeah.
How's your dog doing?
He's doing well. He's like 2.5 now, so he's much more calm, much easier to sort of it's just much more controlled. Just still a lot of energy. When we first got him, he was like 1 year old, not trained. Just so much energy. So when I walk him, I had to buy a bicycle from Amazon to like walk him because otherwise he doesn't get a workout. So I have to ride my bike for an hour. And for the first time, 1 hour nonstop, he just jogged for an hour for like 13 kilometers nonstop. I was like, animals are built different. You know?
I love that. I mean, I have to say, when I heard the name of your dog was Broccoli, I was shocked. Like, how did you come up with something like that?
I don't take. I think no. I don't. You shouldn't take yourself too seriously, and you should have a little bit of fun in your life.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit goofy with naming stuff. You know. I just thought, look, in Chinese you name the dog Yellow, Blackie. You named it by color. So we initially thought of like he was kind of brown, right? So we thought of Brownie, but then we said no, Broccoli is more fun. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Speaking of Broccoli, what did you learn from your time in the BNB meme coin trenches? You got a little bit involved earlier this year, and then you're like, I'm not a big of a fan, and you got into it. I love it. I spent my time in the trenches. I'm a little bit retired now because I'm too busy. Got to run a company at the end of the day, and I travel a lot for work. But what did you learn in the BNB trenches?
It's pretty interesting actually. So because I was busy, I was kind of distracted last year in the US, so I kind of missed the whole meme coin evolution. And then after I came back, like everyone's like into meme coins, and there's not a whole lot of utility coins in the space that's really actively building. So I thought, well, okay, let's figure it out. Let's see like what's it all about. It's actually pretty interesting. It's pretty hard to learn actually. You thought you'll be just like one image and then you post and that's it. But there's quite a bit of community rules or etiquette going on. So for example, I didn't know that everyone was like asking me what the name of my pet is and asking me to post a picture. I didn't know if when you post a picture, there's going to be like so much PvP, like player versus player, and so I just thought it was going to be fun. So I said, okay, I'm going to post it 24 hours later, build up a little bit of hype, and then when I posted, there's like 1,000 broccolis, and then there's communities like fighting over each other, etc. So I kind of wish, I learned a lot of lessons the hard way. I kind of wish to just do it softly, so that there's one clear thing, and then you kind of focus on all the energy on that for people who like dogs, right? So there is a very strong culture community element to it, and I also learned that for the meme coin traders, life is pretty tough. I mean, they stay on in the group chats all day long, like looking at this and like whichever new coin is gonna be hot, etc. So I learned quite a bit more about that. I don't think I will ever be a meme coin trader myself, but I'm not even a crypto trader myself. I was always the platform builder. Like there's a difference between building the tools for people to use versus trading yourself. But I think we always follow the community.
Yeah.
So we don't try to dictate where the community goes. So if the community is all over meme coins, we want to support it. So that's why I said, look, let's look at. Then I look at BNB chain, the ecosystem, try to understand it. So I interacted with it a little bit more, and people just want me to spend more time interacting with it because I do bring a level of attention to it.
Yeah,
So and then I want to help with the BNB chain ecosystem as well because I can't get involved on the centralized exchange side, but there's no limitation for me on the decentralized exchange, the BNB ecosystem, BNB chain ecosystem, labs, etc. So I spend time where I can. Yeah.
No, I love that. No, listen, I had to ask you this. Obviously, I spent some time in the trenches this cycle, and obviously more on the Solana side. But I know BNB is always a hot and popping, and I definitely want to talk again about this whole sex versus Dex conversation a little later, because there's a lot of interesting conversation to have there. But first, we're gonna talk a little bit about your views on crypto and where you think the space is right now. Like, you said you're not into really meme coins as much, but what part of the industry excites you the most?
I think there's a lot of stuff happening, sort of like below the noise, right? So I think AI is a big sector. So AI will marry blockchain. AI needs blockchain. AI is a post-blockchain technology, so you will use blockchain natively. And blockchain can use AI a lot as well. And then science, what we call DeSci, I think that still has a lot of long-term positive impact. Fundraising in science is difficult. The problem is science takes a long time, right? So for the meme coin traders, like, they're not interested in that. They want like return next day. But I think science long-term is going to be huge, biotech, etc. So this is very conceivable to use crypto smart contracts to raise money for science projects and deliver them on milestone basis or on a time basis, and incentivize millions of small research labs around the world to be able to do their research. And that combined with big data, AI capabilities, I think we'll see a lot of accelerations in terms of drug discovery, understand human biology.
That's great.
So all of that stuff is going to happen, and is happening. There are other things like more obvious ones like RWAs. There's big traditional companies doing that. BlackRock, Citadels, etc. And also the ETFs are interesting because now we're bringing the traditional institution money into crypto. There's a lot of most of the money in the U.S. is institutional money. Yeah. The rest of the world is a little bit different, but I think we've seen the effect of that. Bitcoin's going up, and because most of the ETFs are Bitcoin based. So so I think there's a lot of going on. Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, like, do you have any worry that crypto's gotten so big that now it's involved in politics? There's the ETF, so this institutionalization of Bitcoin. Do you think? I mean, it's a positive in terms of price action, obviously, right? Our bags are up. I mean, not the altcoins as much, but at least Bitcoin is. Do you think that could also be a danger to the ethos of decentralization that exists within Bitcoin and Satoshi's original white paper?
A little bit. So there's always pros and cons. So there's like nothing's like 100% good or not 100% bad. So there's always a balance. There's always two sides to the same coin. I think to some extent, as an early Bitcoin adopter and as a sort of decentralization believer, you kind of want government to come in last, right? So especially government buying Bitcoins. So some of us want all the retail guys, all the consumers to hold some Bitcoin first, all the small guys to hold some Bitcoin first before the big government start buying, right? So there's different views of that. At the same time, government buying Bitcoins or crypto is really good for the price action, right? So and it's also good validation. It's also very good validation. So there's always two sides that you're thinking about. So it's a balance. But overall, I think we don't control what in a decentralized world, we don't control what other people do. We obviously cannot control what governments wants to do. But it speaks volume where the U.S. is now 180 degrees from what they were 100 days ago, right? So Trump's only been in office for 100 days, and they're now very, very pro-crypto. So the U.S. government is smart enough now to recognize buying Bitcoin is a great thing to do. And so it's good for now the other countries will have to follow. So it's good for crypto, but at the same time, I kind of wish all the small guys would buy first. So
they had time.
They had time.
We give them 10 years head start.
15, right?
15 years.
Yeah, so 15 years. And when we've been talking about crypto, we've been trying to promote it. They had enough time, right? So they had plenty of time, so that's how the world works. The guys who didn't want to buy, that's their choice.
I mean, you're advising the country of Pakistan, right? The Sovereign Wealth Fund here. Bilal bin Saki was also a friend. The Sovereign Wealth Fund of Abu Dhabi, right? Invested in Binance most recently as well. And it seems like governments are only going to keep buying Bitcoin. So
absolutely.
That's a domino effect, sort of, that's happening. The United States of America has a pro-crypto president now, which I think was the biggest domino to fall, which has helped the rest of it. And now I'll ask you about the flip side of the industry. You were pretty good last cycles to call the rut in the industry, right? You have a good sixth sense when it comes to this industry. What do you think is the rot this time around? What should we be more careful for?
Okay, well, obviously, I think there's too much money into meme coins. right? So I think there's too much attention paid on meme coins. Meme coins are very short term. 99.999% of them will fail. I think Coinbase, not Coinbase, CoinMarketCap tracks 14 million tokens. So you can just imagine how many zeros after the 9 that will fail. I think that's a high risk area. But luckily though, most meme coin traders, they know the risks. Because they happen so often. So they kind of accept it. It's also taking quite a bit of attention away from utility projects. I think in the last 4 years, in the last administration, there was a lot of risk in running a proper crypto project. The SEC will sue you, saying that it's a security, etc. Luckily, recently, many of those lawsuits have been dropped. So now I think we'll see more builders. So I think the industry will kind of forced into move into an unhealthy way. But now I actually am very positive. So that it's now moving back in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely the SEC. For example, putting you in prison.
Yeah.
Right. The U.S. government and etc. didn't help the cause. Right. We were scared. I'm a founder in the space. Right.
Yeah.
We were always scared of tokenization. Yeah. Even NFTs for a moment were labeled as securities. When the Yuga Labs case, the CyberConk, etc., which was finally dropped. So I think, as a founder myself, I'm much more comfortable now building than I was before because I feel I can take more risk. Yeah. And we're in a risk-on environment in this industry because we're at the forefront of AI, DeSci, tech, media. Yeah. So it's important. We need to be allowed to take risk. Yeah. Or else we can't move the space forward. Yeah.
I mean, many of the very strong entrepreneurs from the U.S. left.
Yeah.
Right. So that's not good for the U.S. economy.
Not at all.
And it's also not good for the U.S. leadership for crypto, AI, etc. So, but I think now I didn't expect to be able, U.S. able to change in this way, 180 degrees in with one election. So but that speaks to the power of democracy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy to me that I got to interview the president. Right before the election. Yeah. I'm just from some crypto kid, a crypto bro. And I was telling Mr. Trump, I was like, well, you're one of us now.
No, I think it was fantastic that he did that interview less than 24 hours after he was starting the year, right? That's crazy.
So that was the second assassination attempt.
Oh, the second
one? The one on the
golf
course.
Oh, the one on the golf course.
Yeah,
but
still.
Yeah, still, yeah.
He had Fox News and everybody else blowing up his phone to get on there. The Fox News van was outside Mar-a-Lago during my interview with him. And apparently from what was told by his team, he wanted to keep the interview on.
Yeah, so that speaks volume of what kind of character he is, right? He's willing to talk to
I'm not famous. I'm not known, right?
Podcaster, right? Yeah. So it speaks volumes. Yeah, I think this is why I think probably why President Trump understands crypto. No. He's one of the people's guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So speaking of rot, right, and media.
Yeah.
On your way here, you were tweeting, about the Wall Street Journal because you were quote tweeting a message from Elon Musk about whether it be fake news. Also, speaking of Donald Trump, speaks about this often, but also even if it's not fake news per se, it could be deceitful or with a very negative connotation. And that's one of the reasons that led me to start Rug Radio. And then we merged with Decrypt Media, and this was always my favorite media in the space because the journalism level over there has always been very high. And our goal is always to put crypto and emerging technology at the forefront in a positive light as much as we can. That doesn't mean we don't cover the bad, but it means that we don't also have to only cover the bad. And it seems like the Wall Street Journal and other mainstream media loves to cover us in the negative light at all times as much as they can. Can you speak to that a little more? Because it was a little upsetting when they came out with a piece that seemed like a hit piece on you, saying that you threw other crypto founders under the bus while in prison to reduce your sentencing, and they've been at you pretty hard. Can you speak on this a little more and what's happening?
Absolutely. So from my perspective, the traditional media, they pick your person, and then they try to target them, right? So they pick Elon, they pick Donald Trump, they pick myself, many others. And the narrative is very consistent when they pick you, and then they just completely negative articles about you. But luckily now those things doesn't work. I think the traditional governments control a lot of media. I mean, U.S. they say there's free speech, but there's so much funding that's directed into different news outlets, etc. So they influence it that way, and that used to work, but it no longer does. It actually probably works negatively because now I think the fact that the previous party lost the election speaks volumes of what people are looking at, and the fact those things doesn't work, and the fact that we can talk like this, and then everybody sees it. We have our channels, right? So now we have our voice. So social media is a great platform, great tool so that the little guys have our own voice. So and people can see, right? Like we're on video, we're out there, we're at conferences, people can see us. People don't believe in the article that somebody wrote, and it's very clear what their agenda was. So those things doesn't work anymore. But it's still annoying. But I try not to spend time with it. But still, some of the traditional regulators, like the politicians, I would say the older senior generation, they will still read more of the traditional news. So sometimes they get a skewed view of what's going on. It's unfortunate. We can only do so much to try to correct it. But now at least we have our own channels. We have our own voice. So this is why we have large followings, etc. I probably have larger followings than most politicians. So
you do.
Yeah. So and Elon has way more, right? So and I probably accept Donald with President Trump. So the stronger voice, the real voices come out. So we're less concerned about that, but it's still annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. No. It is annoying because like you said, it's just because it skews the opinion of people that are outside. Like within, we get it, but like from the outside, people share Bloomberg articles, they share WSJ articles. They don't. Well, soon they'll share more decrypt articles, hopefully. But they still, that's not the go-to for like a normie yet.
So I spoke to somebody at Bloomberg, and they were literally telling me, this is like a senior guy. I have friends at Bloomberg. And then they're literally thinking about canceling the investigative journalist division.
Wow.
Right? Because
I saw you tweet about that.
Yeah, because they don't, like, what do they investigate? They don't really investigate issues. They just investigate a person with their own agenda already set. And they look for any little thing that can twist into a narrative. That's not journalism. And that's hurting the reputations of the company so badly, right? Because Bloomberg is a technology company. It's not a media company.
No.
So the media doesn't make any money for them. And so they're like, why are we doing this? We don't make any money. And we're just
probably hurting them now.
They're definitely hurting them now. So so Bloomberg sells terminals. All right, so they make a lot of money from terminals. And I also heard that like more than 30% of the news is actually already written by AI. But those are flash news, right? So those are not the investigative parts.
Wow.
And people read more of those.
Of course they do.
Because those are data, those are facts, those are quick. The market's dropping. This has happened. Those doesn't have narratives. So so there are a lot of talks about that. So I think the media industry is going to change unless they change the ethics. Yeah,
we're changing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my job.
Yeah.
And so we're doing our best here. What we're finding we decided to go towards predictive markets.
Yeah.
Because since we own Decrypt Media and you own Rug Radio, it's the best ways to have a prediction market embedded into that because you get the real time sentiment.
Yeah.
I really liked what Polymarket did to go from 0 to 1 with Donald Trump in the election.
Yeah.
Right. It showed that the media was saying a story, but the people were putting their money on another story.
Exactly, yeah.
So we saw that with Kalshi as well, and we're seeing it more. So for us, it made more sense to be able to serve that. And I think this is where crypto comes in. You were talking about utilities in crypto. I think prediction markets alongside stablecoins, AWAs, AI, DeSci, everything you're talking about is something that has helped a lot. I want to go back a little bit about your time in prison because you talked about this at the beginning of the interview, how it helped you, maybe get even more in tune with your family, etc. So I wanted to ask you, like, the experience of being in prison last year, like, has it changed how you live and how you build now?
A little bit, for sure. I mean, that kind of experience always changes you some way. I think number one, you made me realize what's most important. So health is most important, and then second is family, and then it's work or the rest of the stuff. And then you also find out in prison you don't miss the sort of the good food. I miss the nice bed a little bit, but I miss my family, right? So and you don't miss the money, you don't miss the work. Even though stepping down from the CEO of finance was really emotional.
You missed the work.
I'm a builder, right?
Yeah.
So I can't, like, I'm lucky that I'm not young, but I'm not super old. So I still have energy to do stuff. And when you can, you have to. So I'm still pretty active, but I'm doing different stuff now. I'm helping with I'm advising other founders, meeting them, talking to them, learning from them, and then I'm building the education platform. So I'm still very busy doing other stuff, but it's fine. What you do, it doesn't matter. You can always make your positive impact anywhere. There's so many different opportunities. Yeah. So that part is one part, and the other part is I'm much more careful now, I think. So I'm like much more careful.
In what way?
Before I was never sort of in tune with geopolitics, all of this stuff now. But you actually find that those political agendas actually do affect you personally, and sometimes even can land you in prison. So I'm more careful now. But overall, I think it took me a while. Even after coming out of prison, I took like a few months off. Sort of, I didn't.
Yeah.
I was much less active on X, and I didn't go to events, etc. It took a couple of months to slowly ease back into society. Yeah.
Wow. Did you make any friends in there?
Yeah, actually, I still correspond with a couple of friends there.
No
Yeah. You meet friends everywhere. There's good people everywhere.
Of course.
There's many people who are way overpunished. Some of them made mistakes, but they're they're way overpunished. I'm still corresponding with some of them. And the guys who are in prison, they have no access. They have no, it's very difficult for them to get a lawyer, especially an outside lawyer who's very expensive, and they don't have any money. And it's very hard for them to get information. They don't have access to the internet. They have access to a very clunky messaging system with no pictures, no internet links.
Wow.
It's all what their family can write to them. They can call their family, but again, it's what their family can tell them. Each call is maximum 15 minutes. You have 500 minutes per month.
Did you have the same level of access, or
it's the same? It was the same. So I didn't have access to the internet. So those guys need a lot of help. So I'm still talking to a couple of them. You make friends everywhere.
I love that. Oh, you couldn't access the price of Bitcoin?
Yeah. So
you had no idea what the price of crypto was for the entire time?
No, but I have people messaging me. So
it's true, messaging. How you doing? Okay, what's Bitcoin at? How's BNB?
And also there is TV. So there's a few TVs that come in areas, right? So, but most of the TVs are sitcoms and sports.
Yeah.
They don't watch.
And you don't watch sports.
I don't watch sports, so I don't watch TV either. And then they don't. But a few of the prison the inmates kind of wanted to learn about crypto. So
I love that.
So they kind of dedicated one channel to a financial channel. You can actually kind of see it. I saw Nvidia going up. I saw the president getting shot in the ear. That all happened when I was in prison.
Been crazy.
Yeah. And I also saw Donald Trump got 34 criminal charges. I only saw one of them was like bringing documents into his bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm like, you do not charge your ex-president for bringing a confidential document into a bathroom.
Yeah.
If this happened in my company, some employee brought a confidential document into a bathroom, I'll give the guy a bonus. Right? Think about it. The guy's working hard. The guy's working on the toilet. Right? So this is just crazy. So
oh my God.
Yeah. And then I saw Donald Trump become pro crypto. Attended the Nashville conference. Fantastic. And then the Democrats become pro crypto. I was like, oh great.
And I'm still seeing everything unfold from prison. You can't even tweet.
I'm still serving my 2 months into my 4-month sentence. And when I went to prison, Senator Elizabeth Warren, 5 days before my sentencing, she announced war on crypto again. She wrote a public letter to the DOJ and all this stuff.
She called you Bananas.
No,
it's the other one.
That's Janet
Yellen.
Yeah.
That drove me crazy.
Yeah.
I took a shot every time she said bananas.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
So if I wasn't under so much pressure at the time, I would have thought those are funny. But looking back, those are funny.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. Listen, I love this. Sometimes the space loves to glamorize the whole prison thing, but I don't think they realize how hard you have it in there, man.
Oh yeah, it's extremely hard when you go through it. Now I can laugh about it, but it's extremely hard.
It's not funny.
It's not funny. It's not fun at all. I would not wish that experience on anyone. And also at the time, I have a very high tolerance for pressure. I'm very calm personality, but at the time, it's really hard. And I think just going through the experience, the strip search, showing your butt cheeks, the whole experience, getting locked up in a cell. My first cellmate is a double murder, right? So
they put you in there, just a double murder guy.
Yeah. So once you're in prison, the prison guys don't care who you are. They just treat you as any other. So I don't think I was treated anything special.
See, that's what people want to know, right? It's like, hey, because you're CC, because you have money.
No.
Differently.
I don't think they treated me very differently. I was told that I was being central monitored in prison. So that means some central office is monitoring me. So I think that's the only difference. But the other inmates don't know. The guards, most of the guards probably don't even know. They just know. They're just doing their jobs, right? So I'm supposed to for anyone I'm a white collar crime. Even if I was charged, I should be a minimum security prison. But because I'm not a U.S. citizen, even though I flew there voluntarily and to deal with the issues, I was put into a low security prison. At the low, you have murders. My cellie has a 30-year sentence for murdering 2 guys at once. And then, but because of good, he had 30 years. He served 12 years. Because of good behavior, he's moved to a medium and then to a low. And that's the low is the lowest he can go. He can never go to a minimum. But because I was put there, and just because there were so few, they group you by race. So they grouped the Asians and Pacific Islanders and the Native Americans into one called the Pacific Islanders CAR is like a group. And then that's the guy that I would share. He's a Native American, so I shared a cell with him for a few weeks, but we got along fine. Yeah, yeah. So, but when you're going through that experience, it's not fun.
It's scary, right?
It's
Were you scared?
I was scared. Yeah, yeah. So, so you go to prison and then they do the intake. They take your photo, some questions, and change strip search, and then they let you into the unit. The moment you're walking through the door of the unit is like a 3 stories, like two rows of cells facing each other, and you with most of the time you can move around within the unit. The cell doors are open, and there's like 240 guys in there. The minute you walk in, there are guys with like tattoos, like all big buffy guys, like face tattoos, head tattoos, and they're like all very macho. They're all yelling over each other, and like when you walk in, it's like this is not fun. And the prison guard says, okay, no, your cell is the A5, first floor 5, right? I walk over there and try to open the door. The door was locked, so I try to pull the door open. Like it doesn't budge, and then like a minute later, like a Buffy guy comes, like the door doesn't open that way, and the guards have to open it. So everyone's like kind of watching this new fish, like open the door. I was like, okay, great. Now everyone know I'm a new guy, but actually, just by my clothes, they all know I'm a new guy. So it's that kind of environment you put into, yeah.
I give me kind of a
But
I felt that I don't want to like diminish what you've gone through, but I just you said that I'm like fuck, like
But
But
interestingly, all the inmates are actually very polite, very nice. So they're all very macho. But once you get to know them, I've had zero issues.
Everybody's got a soft spot.
Yeah. So they all look like tough, but they're all good guys. I have had zero issues with inmates or with guards.
Good to hear.
But the other thing that's the most painful thing was mentally. I was always worried that they may keep me longer than 4 months. They can bring some other random issues, and this happens to many inmates. They can bring another charge, and then it becomes Hotel California, right? You can check in, but you can never check out. That's my main worry. So if they told me 100%, 4 months, you're done, I'd be like, okay, great,
cool.
I'll get through that. But there was so many back and forth in even when I was led into a halfway house. Should be for another month and a half. The last month and a half, the last 14 days, they arrested me, put me in a detention center because the immigration says my visa expired. Right, so.
Dude.
So I was ordered to stay in the country, and we applied for a visa extension. They denied it, and they said I was staying in the country illegally.
But they made you stay in the country in a prison.
Yeah, and then they put me in a detention center, and then my lawyers got that a detainer lifted, so they changed their course 3 days later. But then they never let me back to the halfway house.
Okay.
So, but anyway, all of this stuff is in my book that's coming out. So
okay, you got a book coming out.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's plug it in. Whenever it's out, let me know. We'll link and plug it in.
Yeah.
So thank you for going so deep in the story. I didn't really mean to go there, but I think this is really insightful because we glamorize the whole prison shit too much.
No, it's
and
not
I know
fun.
at first when I was trying to be more chill about it because I didn't know how.
Yeah.
But it's not cool.
It's not.
So
it's not cool.
Don't land yourself in prison, kids.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Speaking of prison, since the heat has passed, or not, but seems like it's passed.
Yeah.
What are your current thoughts on SBF? He's serving his time still. Do you after going to prison, do you have more sympathy for him in a way, or do you think it's he's getting his fair treatment for a long time?
It's very hard for me to comment on what's fair and what's not. Right. So I think I don't wish for anyone to go through a prison experience. But I do think that bad behavior needs to stop. I think anything that deals with fraud, lying, deception, moving, I think all of that should not happen.
Yeah.
So again, but I also think that U.S. sentences are generally long, but there are ways to reduce them. So for good behavior, generally you get 10 days off every 30 days of good behavior. So most people only serve their 2/3 of their sentence.
Okay.
So again, I don't want to comment on that issue. I sympathize with anyone in prison.
Okay.
It's not an easy experience.
Right.
And also, long prisons usually don't really help that much, to be very frank. So what I've seen in prison is the guys who have like 10-year sentences, that becomes their life. They don't think about or reforming themselves anymore. They know that most of them have done something wrong. But many of them are way overpunished, and then they just get on with life. It doesn't have any correctionness to it.
It kind of loses the whole purpose, right?
And then it costs taxpayer dollars. So, I don't know what's the best way to do correction. Like, if you really want to make the guy change, right? So learn from their mistakes and make them change. Again, I cannot comment on,
of course,
on whether that's good or bad or
no,
how long or short.
I mean, we're not really judges, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So where are we? No, I mean, it's just obviously it's completely different than you. I mean, SBF committed actual crime and almost decimated my entire portfolio. So
sorry to hear that.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
We make it all back in a couple trades, and we keep building. So it doesn't matter at the end of the day if you're a builder in the space, right? But I think that was a big blow to the space and something that put us all in a very negative light. So kind of wanted to go there. So you spoke about President Donald Trump a few times now. Obviously you said that from prison you saw his rise, which probably made you a little more bullish on your own sentence, right? You said you were scared of the longevity of sentence. I think him starting to become more popular.
So for me, like, it was like when first of all he was like charged with 34 crimes, 34 charges that the judge or the jury actually agreed with. I was like, okay, that's crazy. And then he was running for president. I was like, okay, this would be the best thing. And then he became pro crypto, and then you can see that he's really pro crypto.
Yeah.
He's not just talking about.
No,
it.
he actually is.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, well, obviously this would be a good guy for our industry and also for any sort of people who have a criminal charge, right? Unfairly, I think. So I was watching all of that from prison, and I think we as an industry is very lucky that the current U.S. president is very pro crypto, and he's very smart.
Are you close? Do you communicate?
No, I've never talked with President Trump.
Really?
Yeah. I've never spoken to him.
Wow, because I know a lot of the other founders in space, they lobby.
Yeah.
They pay to access as well, but some of them, I was at the Digital Summit covering it. We got the White House hard pass to be able to cover it on the Decrypt site. So I was there. And there's a lot of the other founders of centralized exchanges that appeared there. So I was just wondering maybe if you were close or...
No. So as a foreign company, as a foreign citizen, there's no way for us to donate. So we cannot donate to any political change. I'm very this is one thing I'm very careful about. I'm very careful not to do anything that has to do with the elections.
Even with Binance US, you guys can't do all that stuff?
I'm still like the larger shareholder there, so
got it.
So they couldn't. And then we're very careful with not doing anything related to the elections.
Smart.
After it came out, I haven't done anything in the US yet. So Binance US is still running, but we haven't done anything else. There's a lot of news articles saying like, no, I'm trying to exchange Binance US equity for a pardon. That's completely not true. I've had zero discussions about Binance US equity with anyone. Binance US equities have not changed.
It's good to know.
Yeah, so like a lot of those stories are just made up. So
obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, every time you need a proper news story, and just reach out to Ryan right there
Sure.
or Sander. They'll take care of putting the right news out. Okay, CZ, we got you.
Yeah.
We like to cover the truth. I think it would be awesome for this space if CZ got a pardon. But hopefully I'll see. We saw Arthur Hayes got his.
Arthur Hayes got his. I certainly wouldn't mind one. So I think that's not.
I know you can't ask for it. You're not gonna lobby for it. But come on, y'all. Yeah. Come on, let's give our man. You took one for the team here. So
I appreciate that. But the legal means to apply,
of course,
right? I got lawyers applying. And
I'm sure.
We only submitted after the Bloomberg article and Wall Street Journal article coming out. And then I was like, well, if they are writing this article, so might as well just officially apply, right? So at the time I was like, and then also got his very recently. So I think we only submitted the application 2 weeks ago.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get that. Yeah. How do you rate the presidency so far?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Number one is like, look, this is President Trump understands business. I think a lot of people are worried about the tariffs, etc. But I think that's just negotiation, right? So and it's not a typical geopolitics type of negotiation. But it's a very typical business type of negotiation. in a business environment,
the deal.
you go up so super high, you go in super high, and then you go low, you go high, you eventually land at a spot. That's very common in business. In geopolitics, you usually don't see that because it does have large impact on the industries, economies, etc. But it's actually kind of refreshing to see.
Yeah.
And I think President Trump is very much a deals guy. He will make deals.
Do you think the trade war with China and Donald Trump could end sooner rather than later?
I think so. China are very good deal guys.
So he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So the Chinese guys are very smart at making deals. Initially, the way that it was communicated, I think the Chinese guys will not like it because Chinese guys like in the Asian culture we care about face.
Yes.
Right. So if you publicly say, "Look, we're going to demand this much," and they're gonna say, "Look, we're
they don't like being like hustled and bustled."
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So I think there's a bit of a culture difference. Whereas like in America, especially with President Trump, it's like you see his meetings televised through social media in real time, which is really good, really refreshing to see. Right. You don't see that with most other presidents, but he's doing things differently. So it takes but I think eventually they all have very good advisors. They all have people who understand the different cultures, etc. So I'm very confident. But at least now they're negotiating.
Yes.
Right. Whereas previously they wasn't talking. No. They were just like softly cutting off each other. And previously it was all soft power. But at least now they're talking. So I'm actually very optimistic. Yeah.
I love that. What do you think about, speaking of meme coins, what do you think about Trump's meme coin?
I actually don't know too much about it because I heard so many different stories from different people.
Yeah.
Some say it's really closely associated with him. Some say it's not at all. I actually don't know that much.
There's some association, right? Because they're hosting a dinner in May 22nd with access for the top 20 holders of the meme coin, 25, something like that.
Yeah.
So there's some access, clearly, but...
Yeah.
Are you a top 25 holder of Trump's meme coin?
No. So again, just because of media articles...
you try to stay away from the
I try to stay away from it. So it does impact how you operate. I bought 0 Trump coins because with all the media attacking, trying to associate us in one way or another,
fair.
like I'm just gonna stay clear of it.
And so when CZ coin with access to have dinner with you...
No, I'm not going to do that. You won't sell. Nobody wants to have dinner with me. So.
Oh, come on. I have dinner with you.
Yeah.
I got you an interview now. So okay. I would take you to a Persian restaurant, though. They have some good ones here.
You'll be like a $100 coin.
Oh, my God. That's funny. No, listen. Obviously, I'm just kidding about this. Don't go making coins, guys, okay? The PvP cabals, they're out there. Don't. I'm watching you. No, don't be me. So, do you think the leadership here is taking notes on Donald Trump, or are they like how forward centric are they in the Emirates? I know you love it here.
Yeah. No, the leadership in the Emirates are extremely extremely smart, extremely intelligent, and extremely visionary and thoughtful, and also I would say delicate. They know how to handle really tricky issues. They understood blockchain technology way earlier, so they understood that they cannot rely on oil forever. They need to develop other industries, which they have here. But of all the industries, I think blockchain is one big one. AI is another big one. So these are the technologies for the future. The leadership here understands them really, really well. Also the leadership here has a very good relationships with America. So I don't know all the details, but just from the grapevines, I hear this deep collaboration from AI, from blockchain, etc. So I think this is one of the most forward-thinking countries and one of the most well-led.
Yeah.
I think leadership matters a lot. When you have a good leader, the country grows well. I actually think that whichever system you use, democracy, monarchy, etc., many people gets bogged down by the system. But it's the leaders that matter.
Yeah, I agree.
In any system, even in a democracy, we've seen bad leaders. We've seen bad leaders
from Canada. Come on.
Canada. We've seen bad leaders attacking industries, etc. Whereas the strong leaders grow business, right? So and they try to figure out, are the taxes correct? Are the policies, regulatory frameworks well done, etc. So I think we see that here, and we also see that in the U.S. now.
No, that's good to hear. Listen, I'm going to keep it short for the rest of it. I just want to go quickly into the conversation between centralized exchange and decentralized exchange, because you and I were talking about this right before the podcast. And then quick question on Binance and the rapid fire.
Sure.
Rapid fire prediction game. Obviously, since we're in the prediction market game, but I want to talk to you about the centralized exchange and the decentralized exchange conversation a little bit, because we talked about this before. It feels like the reputation of centralized exchange is kind of taking a little bit of a hit. bit towards like the core users. Me personally speaking, I don't use centralized exchanges. Centralized exchanges, I'll just be honest about it. My first exchange was Binance actually, because back then in Canada it was allowed, and then they did the whole shutdown, and actually that really sucked. It actually really sucked for me, because for a tax situation created a lot of headache. But you were the first exchange I ever used in crypto.
Thank you.
And so then I couldn't until I couldn't. And so I'm a decentralized exchange maxi, personally speaking. But I know it may be easier for the normies to use centralized exchange. Also, I see the appeal, right? For not your keys, not your crypto, but for them maybe it's a little easier, right? From hacks and stuff. What do you feel? How do you feel about all this? Because we've seen the rise of Hyperliquid recently, which has a huge rise, and they're really killing it. They've seen the numbers, so there's clearly a demand for it. How do you feel about this shift in the space?
I think many people view like centralized exchanges versus decentralized exchanges. I think that's the wrong view. It's the terminology that makes people think they're opposite, but they're all tools who provide access to the blockchain. The centralized exchanges don't exist without blockchains. So they're only a tool that provide access to the decentralized world. It's just that many people are easy, for many normies, normal users, they email password is easier than dealing with a private key. They have to encrypt and save themselves, etc. But there's just two different ways to access. There's just two different doors into the same area. So, and I think for any solution provider or any builders here in the space, we should provide everything. We shouldn't be just like we're not married to a centralized exchange. I'm not married to a centralized exchange. That's not the goal. That's just a means to provide access. We invest very heavily in decentralized exchanges, the DEX perps, blockchain development, and also many other ecosystem players, etc. So I think the decentralized DEX perps are a huge market, as you mentioned, and I think that's just getting started. There's so much more. There's so much more to do. I think the current model where everything's fully transparent may or may not be the best model, because. You can see a big whale putting a $300 million short, but the guy who really want to do 300 million short don't want you to see it, right? So the guys who are putting that there,
there's a game. There's for sure a game, right?
It's for his effect. Whereas real large traders like institutions, that's why traditionally dark pools are way bigger than what we call order books, right? So so I think there's a lot of room to grow, but I do think that future is decentralized. So I think I've said this many times. In the future, DEX is going to be bigger than CEX, and we want to invest heavily in those areas. We want to invest in the things that will disrupt our business.
How are you? Are you already in the process of doing that?
Oh, we invested in multiple DEX perps, etc. But now I'm not running them anymore. We're generally just minority investors.
Okay, that's interesting. Because very often recently it's been the reputation like, a coin gets listed on a centralized exchange. And for the trenches, that's immediately a top signal now. It's like, now that it's gotten that, it's going to lose the steam from DEX, So I feel like the vision has changed.
A little bit, but I think that's just for the short-term speculators. Right, so the short-term speculators view the Binance listing as the last stop. But for the builders, the Binance listing should be the early stage, should be the beginning.
Well, trust me, we know that. That's always the goal as a builder.
So Binance is not the exchange is not there just for people to. It's there for speculators for sure. They can trade. Of course. They provide liquidity, but it's more there for providing long-term builders liquidity.
I love that. No, listen, I'm one of them, so I know that. Question for you: how often do you talk to other exchange executives? Right, like there was this article in the New York Times back then that covered there was a little banter back and forth between you and SBF in a group chat with other executives, little beef. Then we know what happened. I don't know if you can get in details of what that chat is. We all have a boys chat, you know what I mean? But the details of that chat. But also, how often do you still talk to other big executives?
I talk to them from time to time, but not very often at all. Number one, all of us are busy. Number two is there's some competitiveness in between exchanges, etc. So in that group, there's 10 exchange founders.
Okay,
right?
wow.
So
it exists.
It exists for sure.
Sick. And the final group.
But how that group got created was when Luna went down, and then they were launching Luna 2, and then a guy Zan from FTX, he used to work for Bitfinex before that. And then he worked for OKX before that, and he worked at OKCoin at the time. So he knows quite a lot of industry players. The group was created to synchronize how we name the two coins. Do we name Luna 1, Luna 2, or Luna C, Luna, or do we name it some? Because otherwise, every exchange is going to do their own thing. It's going to be so confusing for the users.
Okay.
Right. So it's going to be like, okay, now with on Binance is Luna too, but on you is Luna. That's the same token. It's just
confusing.
It's just gonna be confusing. So that group was created to coordinate that, and the group name is called Exchange Coordination.
No.
Right. So there's just one guy created this group, and he dragged a few guys in, and we dragged a few other guys in. And then I got questioned so much about that group with the regulators, with the DOJ.
I'm sure.
And they were like, "Oh, you guys are manipulating. You guys are colluding to manipulate markets." We're like, we're all competitors. We don't. Yeah, we
don't even like each other.
Yeah, we like. And but we also use that group later on. We use that group to coordinate a little bit. Like if some hack happens on like one exchange, they say, "Look, we need help looking at this address. If it's transferred to any other."
We saw
address,
you help Bybit recently.
Yeah. So we got to freeze that. So on those type of like fighting against hackers, etc., the exchange do work together. And we're usually not in that group because that group is all founders. Like none of us like look at.
It's not you guys doing a thing.
Yeah, we're not looking at blockchain, trying to trace transactions. It's like some guys who are specialized in that. And then there was after FTX went down, and there was a day where FTX was shorting USDT.
Yeah,
and they were trying to I think there were some rumors about them trying to depeg it, and then. Paolo messaged in the group said, "Look, stop doing this" or something like that. And then I messaged in the group and said, "Look, we're fully behind. We're not going to let the industry get more hits. So we're fully here to provide help, liquidity if needed." So and that message got scrutinized like the wazoo,
of course.
So but again, nothing came out of it. I just spent so much there was so much questions about it, etc. And there's a lot of sensational reporting about it again. But again, it's just one group that some guy created. And then I've only met Paolo 2 days ago in person for the first time ever.
No way. Yeah, he's someone I would love to interview next.
Yeah, so I think he's a great guy.
Yeah.
So many of us know of each other. We may have a chat here and there. And there was another time where we had some there were some funds flowing through Binance that we had to ask to freeze on USDT.
Yeah.
So I messaged Paolo. He responded right away. Got his team on and froze it. We kind of collaborate in places where we should.
It comes from a good place.
Yeah.
It's for good. Yeah.
And then we still know between Tether and us, there's not much competition. They run an exchange, we do, but we don't really compete very much in that way. So we meet each other at conferences mostly.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
So once in a while we'll be at the same conference. So this is like the first time I met with Paolo in person.
Wow.
And it's also the first time I met with Germany earlier in person 2 days ago. So we've been in the industry for 11 years together. And we know our teams chat, but it's the first time I met him in person.
Amazing. That's awesome. It's the same thing with me and my friends, right? It's like we never met for the first year and a half in crypto, and then we're like, oh, what's up? And I know about his family, I know about his kids, we're homies, and it's the most special time ever. Yeah. So I really like what Paolo's doing over at Tether, and I think that what they've been doing recently, I think it was something around the US, and they're doing just a lot of great stuff in that front. So question now more on the Binance side is, if Donald Trump was open to letting you, would you ever be interested in going back to leading Binance?
I don't think I will be a Binance CEO anymore. I think that's a chapter that's flipped. So it's great. And I think I'm kind of lucky that I had a forced retirement. I think if I was to retire voluntarily, everyone was like, this guy ran out of stamina.
I heard you're a workaholic through the grapevine.
I am. I'm a bit of a workaholic. So I work at least 6 days a week, usually 6.5 days. I have meetings on Saturdays, Sundays as well. And when I'm not working, I'm always thinking about work. It's just like how the mind is built, right? Yeah. So I'm trained to my brain is trained to think about work. I don't have I have some extracurricular activities. I'm into kite surfing now. I'm learning about it. I can do a little jump.
Let's go.
Can't land very well, but it's on the water, so it's fine. But by most people's definitions, I'm a workaholic. So I don't think I'll go back to Binance as a CEO. Mm-hmm. I think there are strong leaders in the company. The company's been running really well for the last year and a half without much involvement from me. So I'm still a shareholder, so I still benefit. And then I think Binance is a strong team. We want to continue to promote grow the team. I would every felon would love to have a pardon. But I'm not really looking to become a CEO of Binance again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. And so, would you ever start or join another crypto-focused project? And if so, what kind?
So I view my role as more of a mentor, a coach, a helper, kind of like a coach standing on the sideline, ushering new entrepreneurs on.
We'll call him Unc.
Unc, yeah. Yeah. So I don't foresee myself leading another project.
Okay.
It's just even though I'm still working very hard, I'm much more relaxed now than when I was leading Binance, right? So I don't think I got the stamina to do that again. That requires so much effort, so much work, and just so much mental tension. I'm not trying to prove that. No, I'm happy with a one shot, like being a lucky one shot pony. I'm not trying to prove that I'm a capable serial entrepreneur.
Like I did it. I'm good.
I'm good. But I think my role is more should be more focused on helping multiple founders to grow. So that's kind of my mentality right now.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm trying to be one trick pony too, CZ. So hopefully it works out for me because I want to live a good life as well. I want to go kite surfing, chill in Abu Dhabi.
I think you do fine.
Yeah, I think. I mean, we're doing good. We're doing it. We're doing it. I'm just 30, so I got time, but we'll get there.
Plenty of time. Yeah.
I don't know, man. My knee started hurting as soon as I turned 30.
Wait until you're 40.
Listen, I want to do a little game at the end. It's just basically 5 rapid fire questions. Because like I told you earlier, we launched Myriad Markets. Yeah. Which is a prediction market platform, which is a lot of fun. It's gamified. There's 400,000 users on the platform right now in points, and they love it. Yeah. And so for us, it's kind of like a binary situation where I can ask you a question, and you just either give me a number or an estimation, a prediction, right?
Sure.
If you want to pass, you're welcome to pass. Yeah. But if you want to give me an answer, you're welcome to give me the answer you think.
Sure.
All right, are you ready?
Yep.
All right, so what do you think the total crypto market cap will be by the end of year?
Maybe 5 trillion.
Okay, by the end of the cycle.
I don't know when the cycle is. Harder one. I don't know.
Okay, we can skip that. Okay, what do you think the price of Bitcoin tops at this cycle?
Again, very difficult question. Somewhere between 500K to $1 million, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay, will Trump flip Doge this cycle?
That I'm not sure. It really depends. There's 2 meme coins. It really depends.
I hear it. Okay. Will Fartcoin go to $10 billion?
I have no idea. I don't even track it. I don't even know what price it is right now.
It's like 120.
Oh, okay. No.
What? Hot air rises, CZ. Last question is, will you get another dog?
Not in the short term. One is a lot of work.
Oh man, listen, this was a blast. It's honestly, I told you before, but I'll say it again on the camera. I'm a fan. I really appreciate you. I love the fact that you're a fellow Montrealer, but honestly, I want to say thank you for myself and from a lot of people around me for giving me this opportunity, but also for everything you do for our industry. I believe you're a huge net positive, and we're really grateful for everything you've done. So really want to show you my appreciation. And then if there's anything you want to call out on the camera before we go, any last message, any last word?
No, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me, and I'm honored to be here. And thank you for all your support, and thank you for the good words. And ping me anytime if you need anything.
Hell yeah. I will. Yeah. You got to follow me back, though.
Sure, yeah, I will.
I said on camera on purpose. Okay, all right, guys. This is Farouk. Love y'all. Check it out. Interview with CZ. Peace out.
Peace out.
Let's go.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Honestly, that means a lot to me.